Hello, Carol at Mainly Pilates. I was talking in those exercise videos that are in the Supporter magazine, and I talked about how we all need nice long hamstrings. And if I didn't have long hamstrings, to stop for my little clocksies, if I didn't have long hamstrings, then I can't sit up straight. The only way I can release my hamstrings is by tipping my pelvis back. To stay upright, if I tip my pelvis back, I've got to round my back. You probably can't see it in this, but I've now got a big hump in my back. When you have a hump in your back, you've got your vertebrae, and they're all stacked in your spine, all stacked neatly on top of each other, and they're all flat. And in between all of those, you have a disc, which ideally is flat as well. Think of it like a marshmallow. So if you had a round marshmallow and you squeeze this side of it, this side would bulge out. And that's what your discs do. So if I'm sat like this for periods of time, when you're kayaking, canoeing, paddleboarding but having a rest, or seated paddleboarding, what I'm doing is I am squeezing those vertebrae at the front so they're bulging out the back. And over a period of time, they press on nerves, and that's what causes your bad back. So it's all down to posture. See how I've also, because I've rounded my back to keep my face up, I now have to tip my neck. So not only am I now got really bad posture in my back and hips, but now I've got it in my neck as well. And then subsequently you tend to droop the shoulders forward as well. So it's a recipe for disaster and pain. So let's imagine that we've got this stretching up to the ceiling. So now my chin is parallel to the board, shoulders are down and back. Already I feel better, but the main thing, from having my pelvis tipped back to having it stacked on top, all my vertebrae stacked on top of each other. But actually you can't get in this position if you've got tight hamstrings. So how can we not have tight hamstrings? Well, the best way to not have tight hamstrings is to stretch them. Stretch them. I'm going to show you in a minute when I've finished this. To go from this to this, you need nice long hamstrings. Luckily I have nice long hamstrings. So a good stretch, I'm not sure I can show you a good stretch at this jointy angle, but so I can lean back on my hands and you will find there's no stretch on the hamstrings. So everybody's different, remember, and today will be different to tomorrow, etc. So to find your tight hamstrings, flex the feet. So this is a pointy foot, this is a flex foot. Flex the feet, no stretch in my hamstrings. Come up a little bit more upright. Still no stretch. Now what I find in my Pilates classes, most people can't get any further than this. And what you're aiming for is a controlled, mild tension stretch in your hamstrings. When you get to your mild tension, so it's on the edge of pain but not into pain, that's where you hold it. So for me actually, and also you don't do it by rounding your back, so you still want to keep your back straight. So for me, my mild hamstring stretch, and it's going into the calf as well, which is perfect, is there. So hold it and deep breaths. In for 4, out for 4, 3 times at least. Now if it's too painful, it's because you've overcooked it. If these muscles have gone all tight, you've overcooked it. Go back a bit, relax everything off and start again. So there's a real thing called a stretch reflex. It's got ever such a long name. And it's all about, if I start to overstretch my muscles, they send signals instantly in a millionth, trillionth of a second to say, she's going to hurt me, stop. And it locks your muscles up. So you're never going to improve your stretch. But if you breathe, on the out breath, I did feel everything relax a little bit. So that doesn't suddenly mean I'm going to be able to put my face on my knees. What it means is I can go a teeny bit further. And if I practice this frequently, in a few weeks, I will be able to go a lot further. So you can't just practice it for today. The stretch is for life, not just Christmas. Bye.